What is up guys, Tim Murray here for Otto Audio. In this video we're going to dive into a sample pack that I've created in collaboration with Otto Audio to take your metal productions to the next level. In a lot of the tracks that I create, I will reinforce the standard guitar, bass and drum tracks with different synth layers and effects. So this pack is a collection of different sounds and textures that I would personally use as well. This is the second pack in this collection, as I've done one previously, which I would highly advise you check out as well. While these sounds can be simply used as a drag and drop feature for your track, you can really open up different creative avenues for yourself if you apply some of your own processing or sample mangling to them as well. Be it simply shortening samples or pitching them around and quantizing to different grids, to even running them through your own favourite plugins. Moving on to the new pack though, here's Heavy Productions Volume 2. So this pack can be broken down into several subcategories: ARPs, bass drops, drones, guitar effects, impacts, leads, pads, reverses, rhythmic effects, and risers. Starting off this pack is the ARP section. These are a few different arpeggiated sequences that I've created in different keys. These samples are more specific in the sense that they are all utilising the same synth tone and also in similar scales. And this is because a lot more of the arpeggiated sequences we created have been sorted into the rhythmic effects folder instead, which I'll go over shortly. The beauty of these samples is that they're also loopable, so there shouldn't be any noticeable jump when the sample loops back around to the start. Here's a preview. Looking at the bass drops, we've got a selection of different bass synth tones running through different distortion plugins. I've tried doing varying levels of distortion and a couple of different fundamental frequencies here, but the main idea for these is to reinforce heavy breakdowns in your tracks. There's a decent chunk of sub drops that are classically used for reinforcing the start of breakdowns. There's also some that are focused more on transitioning into different breaks or ambient sections. A good example of this is Overtone Sub 7. Which starts out purely as a sub, but then a higher saw layer comes in shortly after. Because these are processed through distortions and compression at the same time though, the saw section sort of gets pulled down, which sounds awesome to me. Check it out. Moving on to the drones folder, this folder focuses on different atmospheres and textures. I've created these using different bass samples, which have then been run through different modulation effects, resonators, and then some lush reverbs to finish them off. This provides a very eerie texture that should work really well in instrumental breaks or introductions to tracks. Now onto the guitar effects folder. This focuses on a lot of different dissonant and inharmonic guitar sounds such as scrapes, pitch dives, and minor second interval notes. I've included a DI version of some of the pitch dive samples which were recorded on my Warmoth Telecaster Deluxe Baritone, but there's also a bunch of other samples in there, including pushing the strings onto the pickup directly, playing behind the bridge, and even some natural feedback, something that I normally miss out on given I play exclusively digital gear. Come on, do feedback. Impacts are purely focused around sample reinforcement, be it adding one to a snare hit to make it sound huge, or adding an impact to the very beginning of a riff to start it off with a bang. This is a technique that I use quite a lot, so this would be a heavily utilised folder for myself. If you want huge snares in your breakdowns, this is the folder for you. And now moving on to the leads folder. There's 3 different variations in each key, and then a pulsing version of each one as well. I focused on more common lead lines that I'd use in the background of riffs, which should be simple yet effective in your mixes. Pads are going to be similar in essence to drones, however I focused more on sounds that are harmonic for pads. You will notice distinct melodic lines in this folder rather than it being more of a smearing of an inharmonic sound. You might also notice that some of the sounds start with the reverb tail of another note, and once again, this is because I've rendered these out in a way where you can loop them without there being a noticeable jump. Reverses are a lot of the samples from impacts, however, they've of course been reversed. Sometimes I'll use samples like this, roll off the low end with a high pass filter, and then once the reverse is finished, I'll play the impact version of the sample without any EQing on it. It's quite a nice technique to use in order to bridge different sections of your track together, and it's a nice way to stitch together parts that may otherwise sound a little jarring when going from one section to the other. Then you've also got reverse snares, which can also greatly reinforce individual snare hits that you wish to highlight. The rhythmic folder is a fun one for me, as this touches on some of the different synth elements that I'd mix into the background of my riffs. While there will be some with varying melodic lines or arpeggiators, there's also a focus on them either rhythmically pulsing or panning across the stereo field. There's also a decent amount of syncopated pulses in here where even if you don't end up using the actual sample in the mix, you can take inspiration from the pattern for the guitar and drum lines. Rises is another one that I very much enjoy using in my own tracks. This has huge impact when you're trying to build tension into another section of your track. You can also use some of the reverses for this effect as well. I just recommend adding a bit of reverb to smear it over to the next section. Sometimes the abrupt stop can be a bit more impactful, but more often than not, I'd let them ring out into the next section. So that sums up this quick overview of Heavy Productions Volume 2. Be sure to check it out on Otto Audio's website. Hopefully you'll also find use and inspiration from this pack as I do, and if you have any feedback for further pack ideas or things you're looking for, be sure to leave a comment or reach out to Otto Audio directly. Thanks again, and see you all later. Timmy out.